I've already shared with you guys my top 5 favorite moments from The Acolyte, so now let's talk about my top 5 question mark moments. These are moments that I wouldn't consider to necessarily be bad, just moments that left me a little confused. They left me with lots of questions. I know that most of the things that I mentioned in this video can probably be explained and have already been explained by either the showrunners, the actors, or just people on social media, but these are things that confused me in the moment as I was watching the show. Maybe The Acolyte will be renewed for a second season and we'll get some answers. This video will obviously contain major spoilers for The Acolyte's first season. Number 5. Kame's creepy roommate. It's actually more of a cave mate, I suppose. The Acolyte's final episode gave us a look at this creepy thing, just lurking in the cave watching Kame and Osha hang out. This is indeed Darth Plagueis. Most fans will recognize this name from Revenge of the Sith.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
Darth Plagueis was Darth Sidious's master, but eventually Sidious killed him and took on his own apprentice, according to the Rule of Two. Now, the Rule of Two is a pretty big deal for the Sith. There are only supposed to be 2 Sith to exist at any one time, a master and an apprentice.
Always 2 there are. No more, no less. A master and an apprentice.
The master should represent the power of the dark side of the Force, and the apprentice should train under the master and crave this power. So if Kame is a Sith, and he's just agreed to train Osha, that's the master and the apprentice. So what's Darth Plagueis doing here? That's 3 Sith. That's not allowed. Is this now just an extreme case of third wheeling? Did Plagueis know that Kame was gonna take on a pupil? Is this all part of Plagueis' research into immortality? Either way, showing him for one quick second with no explanation was pretty cruel. Number 4, Anastaea's plan. If you've seen The Acolyte, which I'm guessing you have if you're watching this video, we all know how we got to this point. They spent like 3 episodes explaining it, so I'm not gonna do a recap. Basically, Anastaea doesn't want the Jedi to take the kids, so she's trying to protect them. Then she does this, and Sol freaks out and stabs her. I almost don't blame him, like, I'd be kind of freaked out as well if someone did this right next to me. This isn't really a moment that I need clarifying. I'm guessing that she was just trying to get her and May away from the Jedi. But in the moment, it did leave me a little confused. Like, what was she expecting? Probably not to get stabbed, actually. Number 3, Sol's obsession with Osha. Now, this was something that felt a little weird to me, but I feel like Jedi just do weird things sometimes. Once Sol discovered that Osha and May existed, he immediately said that he felt like he was meant to take on Osha as his Padawan.
I feel a connection to Osha.
I feel she's meant to be my Padawan.
And then from that point onwards, he was just kind of obsessed with taking her back to the Jedi Temple. I wasn't aware that it was normal for the Jedi to have such sort of strong feelings towards picking somebody specific as their Padawan. I mean, like, Anakin didn't even want Ahsoka as his Padawan in the Clone Wars.
But I'm afraid I've actually been assigned to Master Skywalker.
What? No. There must be some mistake.
So this felt like a very extreme reaction from Sol, but I guess the Jedi making bad decisions is what this whole thing is about. Number 2, Kame's weird possession scene. This scene was cool, but ultimately a little confusing. Osha puts on Kame's creepy Sith helmet and then starts to freak out. Kame tries to help her, but his eyes turn black and he seems to get possessed by the same power that Anastaea used on Torbin earlier in the series. It's never really explained what happened. We just sort of presume that Osha can do some weird stuff and we'll leave it at that. Number 1, Basil. This moment had me so mad. So Basil is this little creature thing. I don't know what his deal is. He's supposed to be a good guy, I think. Or at least he's helping out the good guys. Anyway, May and Osha end up switching places and May ends up back on Sol's ship and they leave the planet, and Basil ends up on the ship with them. Eventually, Sol realizes that they've switched and May tries to escape. Sol is pretty successful in chasing her down until Basil steps in and decides to start tearing up the place. I was definitely confused in the moment as to why Basil was helping May when May was the bad guy in this scene. As I said, you can probably find explanation for most of these things online, but these 5 moments just had me a little bit confused while I was watching the show. What confused you the most about The Acolyte? Let me know down in the comments. If you haven't already, go check out my previous video on my top 5 favorite moments from The Acolyte. My new camera also arrived this week, so please look forward to better quality videos from me in the future. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to catch my next video, where I'll be talking about the best and worst scenes from every Star Wars movie. Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you next time.